Hello everyone and welcome back to part 2 of my building tutorial. Today we have again a lot of topics and I want to thank you for your feedback on the last part. For today's tutorial I want to begin with this little flower shot because we never talked about things which you have to keep in mind when you want to make like time lapses, videos, nice screenshots, etc. This is also something you should consider before you even build a single wall, how it will look like later on. And there's a curious thing about Enshrouded because, let me show you. If you look into this direction where the tower stands, this is north, the castle is in south, and this is east. This is west. But the sun doesn't rise in the east like in a normal world. It's more like it rises in the south and goes over to the north and sets down in the north. So this is something you have to keep in mind if you want to take nice screenshots later on. Also, if you have watched my first video with the castle showcase, then you can remember there weren't these big trees in there. I planted some and they really grew within the last days. As you can see, now they cover up the whole view. So I even decided to chop some down to get a better view on the castle. I would say let's get started, and for this we go back down to our tutorial area, which is over here. Let me hide UI real quick, because the view is much nicer. So here we are, back at our tutorial area, and the first thing I already mentioned is the orientation of your build. So if you want to have nice sunsets in your window or light shining through a specific window inside your house, then keep in mind that the sun, as you can see right now from the shadow, is over there, and it's going like a big circle from there to the top at lunchtime and then back down in the north at nighttime. So as you can see, the shadow is pretty small right now because the sun is over there, and gets really long up to here before nighttime. So if you want to take screenshots, or if you have seen the time-lapse and wonder how I got ego perspective, this is just one little trick. You can adjust your camera with page up, page down. At least it's on the keyboard, these keys. So you have a better overview of your surroundings, and if you go up to a 2x1 pillar, then you can create an ego perspective camera. You can sit down to make it even better. So walk against the wall, watch the direction you want, and then sit down and you have ego perspective. I also used this in my material video. I placed the wall and walked alongside it, like so, while watching all the materials. And then I slowed the speed down because sadly there's no way to just walk in the game. Or at least I didn't find it anywhere. So this is something if you want to take screenshots or videos in the game. Now let's talk a little bit about the walls. Let me place something here. There it is, fancy stone block. Now we place a half wall, which is over here. And then the second one, etc. Now I take palm wood and place it within the gaps. And this is how I created my library. I was asked how I created this look, and this is how it's done. So now I take a half wall, because this is another thing I didn't mention in the last tutorial, but I always build 1.5 wall. Because just one wall, I mean, it's high enough for the character height, but I think if I build a castle, I want to have high ceilings. So I always use basically 3 blocks height. Or 3 times 4 voxels is this, and then it's 12 voxel height. This is what I use all the time. Okay, let's fill in the other gaps. Fancy stone block. And since fancy stone block has wooden ornaments on it, it fits perfectly here. And now we can go and place some nice lights. And I place the lights not in global snapping mode, but in freestyle mode. So I place it right in the middle of each wall, like so. If you need a reference for the light, and there's on the top, you can see in the middle there's this like wooden stripe. Just place it underneath it, and it's gone. So then some shelves, and the look is done. This is basically my library wall. But you can also use other patterns. So let's say you have a basic stone wall. Let me grab this real quick. The regular one, like so. And then you put the refined stone on top of it. Then you have a nice finish if you place a ceiling on top now. Okay, now you can see it. Let me get a little bit closer. Yeah, now you have these ornament finish lines on top, and you can also enhance it with inverted staircase, like so. Yeah, looks really nice. And if you want to give it a really nice touch after all, I mean, it depends on your building. If it's completely made out of stone, then it's fine. But what you also could do, you take the smaller inverted stairs, which are 3 by 3, and then you pick up either a really sturdy wood, like so. So it looks like a pillar kind of structure. Or you take the refined wood, which looks almost the same, but in a wooden color. Or you take the palm wood, which is much nicer and more detailed. Here it is. So it looks like you have kind of support below the balcony. And if you alternate this with stone and wood and stone and wood, then it becomes really interesting. Okay. So what else do we have? Wall patterns. And the wall doesn't begin at the wall, but at the floor, because if the floor doesn't fit to your wall from an aesthetical perspective, then the whole room can look off. So let me grab another floor piece over here. Now let's place a wall. But if you have a look at it, it doesn't fit. The stone floor looks really rough, while this looks, well, nice, detailed and polished, and it simply doesn't fit. So I would recommend that your floor matches also the quality of your wall. So in this case, I will show you a better example, what I would do. If you're, let's say, in the basement of your building, then you can take the rough cut stone and these three stone fit much better to each other. Of course, you could also use the floor from the city wall itself. It looks like this. But I think this looks much more interesting and more organic. What you always can do, I already showed this in the last tutorial, but you can always add smaller details. Just delete parts of the wall. Let's do this over here. And I will show you something also on the left side. So I delete this too. Up to here. So now let's grab our door framed brush, let's say. And now I take the castle wall. And as you can see, now there is a dark line inside, which completely breaks up the wall, the pattern. Oh, as mentioned, sun is setting down in the north. Let me grab another stone for this part. Let's say the city wall. Let's have a look. Yeah, this also breaks up the wall. Even has a little 3D touch to it. And of course it doesn't need to be a line. You can also use other shapes like, let's say, triangle shape or whatever you like. Just make sure the material fits the overall appearance. This is the important part here. So let's grab a wall and place it down. See, there's some kind of pattern now and looks much more interesting. Okay, now let's take the fancy stone for this part. I think it was up here somewhere. Here it is. Okay. Let's place this here. Oh, okay, I need to get some light over here. Okay, the highly polished wall also has a really nice touch if you add some metal pieces to it. So let's do this. Oh, this was the wrong button, sorry. I need this. Because marble-like structures always look nice with shiny metals. So let's grab the frame tool again, and now I will use the bronze, which is over here. Yeah, this looks really, really nice. Another thing you could do, if we talk about windows. Now let's delete some pieces. You could also do something like this and have a custom shaped window. And if you really like it, or if you want to bring it out, then just delete one piece on each side. So basically a star shape. And then place in some metal pieces, like so. This looks really, really good. You also could use the iron block, because also the iron block is very, very detailed. See? It's not so shiny, but would also work. And of course it's much better if the sun is actually shining. And I already again have this weird bug with the not loading textures, so let me quickly change this back and forth again so it's loading. Okay. So break up your walls, add details, add ornaments, add something interesting, no matter what, but you shouldn't have flat walls. They look always unappealing, uninteresting, boring. And after this, let's talk a little bit about the stairs and the railings. I had one comment, which I didn't understand, but someone said basically that it took him off when I was standing at the staircase and I wasn't looking over it. Yeah, the thing is, there are 3 railings available, I mean decor railings, which you can place, but they wouldn't fit the art style, which I had. So let me show you what I mean. Okay, so I already showed you how I create these small posts in the last tutorial. So you turn off global snapping and push the 3x1 grid into the ground by 1, so you have a height of 2. And then you leave 1 gap and place it again. After that you take your voxel tool and you place 1 to connect the missing parts. And that's it. Here you have your railing. And yes, I agree, you can't look over it, or almost not. But it's not nice. On the other hand, if I would have placed it down, like so... Okay, it's almost not possible. It's also a railing, but you can see I can just walk over it, because it's just 1.5 blocks high. And this is completely negating the... well, I need a railing to not fall off somewhere, and if I can just walk over it, then it's a bad thing. So this is why I've chosen the 2 height and not the 1 height. Also, if I place now the intersections over here, it simply doesn't look good. The gap is so small, you wouldn't even notice it. So yeah, this is why I've chosen the other one. Of course, you can use other materials, for example, the what is it? Any wooden railing or structure, or the high polished one. Yeah, it's more ground-based block, so it doesn't have a thick appearance on top. It's okay, but I wouldn't use it for railings. This this refined stone is much better, I think. And to complete it, let's grab another one. Yeah. Now for these stairs, I need refined stone. Like so, 1 gap. And here we are at the bottom. And this is how you create your railing for the staircase. You can also combine it with some torches underneath. And I think I've shown it in the first tutorial. Yeah. So this is one reason why I don't use the railings. The second thing is they are not railings for diagonal surfaces, so I can't use them on stairs. And they're also snapping to the grid, which looks ugly from time to time because they are not straight anymore. Okay, these are the staircases. And also one thing, if you want to create a spiral staircase, then the building parts just give you one option. But I will show you how you create it. Basically, we take the pillar. Let's say we have, let's take sandstone pillar. Let's place 4 of them. Okay, and then you begin with your wood or stone if you want. Let's use the refined sandstone. And you place down a 4x4 plate floor. No, this was the wrong one. Sorry. I have to start over here. So now you take your stairs and make sure you are on the global grid, so it's snapping the correct position. Like so. Then you take another 4x4, place it up here. Then the next staircase, and so on. You already see the pattern. Etc. You can also combine this with railings, and yeah, this should just be one inspiration. So before we jump to the windows, I set it back for a couple of minutes. I will show you something else, which is related to upper floors or balconies. So let's say we have a balcony over here. Let me quickly remove the side pieces here. We have a balcony, and we don't want side pieces, but we want it to have a look as it's like supported or on a castle wall up high in the air. Then you had these support-like structures underneath, and you can create these really easy. Just take your 2x2 tool, which is in the voxel section, and now we just place down the regular stone block. 1, 2, yeah, that was what I was talking about. Now let's grab the 3x3 and place them down in here. And now you have a nice little structure. You could also switch this part off, so it's a single row. Yeah. Looks much better now, and you have this little nice arc in between. And there you also could put in a window for some light shafts later on. So if you have, this is 2x2, so you just make a gap of 6, like so, and then you have a nice window. Then you could also enhance this window again with some fancy stone, for example. You delete the bottom 2, and you place 2 fancy stones, so you have this 3D effect over here. And if you want to have a wooden structure around it, you could also replace this part of the side with, where is it? Oh no, it is fancy stone. Sorry, I just messed it up again. This is fancy stone. This was meant to be on top and on the sides, to have this wooden-like structure as from a window, and down here I want the refined stone. I'm really sorry that I mix up the names sometimes, but as you might have noticed, English is my native language, so refined stone. Okay, this is the right one. Yeah, and now you have nice window like this. Okay. This was for the balconies. Now let's head upstairs and I will show you some more things. Okay, here we go again. Now, let's use some of these windows, which I just acquired. For example, the stone window. And here we have another problem, which I encountered a lot of times. Sometimes these windows can be snapped inside, but as you can see, I can't change it so it's in the middle. I have to place it from top view, so I will just create a little scaffolding over here, so we can look from the top, like so. And now we can place it without any problems. So as you can see, this window is kind of stone appearance, but it matches the brown color of the wood. I wouldn't have used it if I wouldn't have used fancy stone. So let's get rid of it. Need another little helper over here. Where is it? Here. So let's grab this. And now let's place another window. Let's say the metal one. Yeah. Looks also interesting. But I actually would prefer the wooden one. So let's place this. And use the wooden one. Yeah. Looks nice. Another thing you can do with your windows, if you have a lot of them, you could also use this on your balcony as a railing. So, let's build a staircase up here. And let's say you have a balcony here, then you could easily place these windows. So you have a nice little railing. And here you also can't fall off. There are many more options, and this should just be a suggestion or an idea for you, so you can experiment around with all the pieces we have. And if not with building material, then with some of the props and decorations. There's always something you can combine or use in another place where it isn't intended to use. So let's go and talk about the doors. I will cut out the pieces over here so we can place a door. Let's grab this and this, and now let's place a door. So basically, double doors don't need a wall, but a top. And for the top, now we can add some interesting elements. So let's grab our tool again. And let's grab our refined stone. And the brush is called door frame, so we use this one. And I place it up here, but one row outside and one below, like so. No, this was too low. Sometimes it's tricky to hit the spot. Nope. It's not the right one. Let's delete the door again. Now I can. Okay. One out. Okay, now we get it. And on this side too. One out. Now let's place the door again. Yeah, now it fits. Okay. And now let's take our voxel tool, the 1x1. Take out the door again, because it won't work without it. And now let's place just single voxels until it's filled. You could also delete the last one up here, so it looks more interesting, like this. Now let's do the same on this side. Like so. And let's place down the door again. And now it should fit perfectly. So this is how you enhance door frames of existing doors. And this also applies to smaller doors, which we have over here. It's exactly the same, only that they are smaller. Okay, now we have normal doors, so let's talk about hidden doors. And right now there are not many hidden doors in the game, just a few. And those which are in the game have even the wrong texture. This one is called Secret Castle Door, which should be the dark one. Yeah. And then we have the Secret Stone Door, which has the rough stone texture. But if you place it, it's the same. It's a bug. I already opened a bug report for this. This should be rough stone, not castle stone. So we can't use this even. And then we have the third one, stone door, which I already used. This is the much lighter. And this one would fit to the castle city wall, weathered stone, or the rough cut stone. So let's connect these again, and I will show you how you place them properly. Yeah, let's delete this wall just for the tutorial. This too. And now let's place a big wall with a door inside, because the hidden doors fit the normal door frame. This is nice. So let's try the... where is it? Castle wall stone, this one. And here we try the regular stone. But let's also... yeah, let's try the regular one. I think it's much better. Not the fancy one. Also not refined. This one. Okay. Secret castle door. Use your global snapping, so it's exactly in the middle, and place it. Look. This is where it should fit. I even would prefer if they don't have the top ornaments over the door, but it's what it is right now, so we have to use it. Now let's use the secret basement door, which should fit in here. Yeah, you can see it's not exactly this the right pattern. Let me try the other one, the weathered stone pattern. Let's try this one. Oh, it's also much lighter. So let's go for the rough cut stone then. Maybe this one will fit. Yeah, this looks more like it. But again, you have this really visible door frame. And there's another one, which is the rough wood hidden door, which I used in my shed over there. And to cover it up, I just did one thing. I used the pixel tool, the voxel tool, and I added some, let's say, ornaments to the wall, but over the whole wall. So I added this pattern over here, right in front of the door, up to the ceiling, like so. And then also on the next wall. So there was a pattern, but you were not able to see the door frames. So I covered up basically what was too obvious to see. Like so. Let's go one in. Here. And here. And now the door pattern is hidden and not as obvious as before. Of course, there are also hidden shelves, etc. you can use, but this is for the doors. Okay, we have the stairs, the railings, the doors, the secret doors, and now something which isn't obvious, but something you also could use. Let me see where the sun is right now. Over there, okay. So let's use here this part. Let's place down some refined stone blocks. Here and here. And now I grab the 3x1 refined stone block. And I will place it, let's see, over here. Delete this. And now I'm building diagonal. And what this does with this stone, come on, here. See, it's not so easy. It's a little bit tricky to find the first spot. Yeah, you can already see it. There are gaps in between. And these gaps are not visible in the shadow. So basically it's only a visual thing. But as you can see, the sun is shining through these gaps. And this is a really nice touch I used also in the castle. This doesn't work with other materials, so there are some which also have gaps in between. They sometimes even look like a bug or something. Let me see if the rough stone was one of it. Yeah, here it's the same. So not all materials have a straight border. So you have these strange artifacts or light gaps. But this is something you have to check for yourself on every block. I think the regular stone block has not this problem. I think this one is straight. Yeah, this one is closed. So no gaps here. But I mean, everything has its advantages and disadvantages. And this is one of them. If you want to build diagonal, for example, I use this technique also in my garden, then it's a lot of fiddling. There are two ways to approach it. Let me try to use some wood over here. An example, the palm wood, which is really nice and crisp to use. So let's place down a foundation where we can build on. And now let's try to build a diagonal or even round pattern. Let's say you want to build a curve around here. So have a nice little garden window or anything like this. First of all, let's place down some pillars and then let's calculate. Because normally you would go up to here and then around the corner. I will show you how to build on the floor, so we can build it one by one in the air later on. Where are my... Yes, my luminous block. So let's use voxel. Okay, the normal grid is here, 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 and here. So if you would place a diagonal, it would go like this. And then you have the corner. Well, to make it round, you have to enhance this. So let's go 2 forward. Then 2 forward again on this side. And let's remove the inner parts. So it looks like this. Still not round enough, so we could go even one further. So let's make this 2, this 2, these 2, and now let's delete the corners again. And let's place one here. Yeah, looks more like it. The thing is, the bigger the radius of your curve is, the easier it gets. So, let's continue this pattern, but with wood this time. And now for the tricky part. Because if you want to build mid-air, then you have to do something else. So let's grab our columns here. Let's place these down over here. And now we need a staircase to work up here. And yeah, this is a little challenge. So first of all, you have to place one block over here and over here. Then you go 2 out and delete this one. So it's floating mid-air. Same over here. But in this case, we have to look from this direction. So 2 out and delete this one. Now we again have 2 out, but with an offset of 1. So place 1 here on each side. And then 2 out. And delete the little helping one. Like so. And this is the pattern you just repeat. 2 out, delete 1. And on this side, 1 out, delete 1. And now we have this pattern, which we have drawn here, and this guy. So now you could just repeat all this, and I will use the floor frame for this over here. So it's much easier. And here you have your garden ceiling or whatever you wanted to create with a round corner. I mean, it's not round, it's cubes, but if you step back a little and have a look at it from a distance, then you will see it's actually looking round. Okay, next part. If you want to have more of a detailed pattern, then you could also do something else. Let's say you have a gardening area and you want just really simple looking structure, like a roof or something. And let's say this is your little garden and you want to have a nice roof on it. Then you can use the roof voxel and just place down a column of different roof tiles. Okay, now even higher. And, well, this was... Let's do it outside here. And now let's place single roof tiles, but the small ones. Or maybe, do we have... Yeah, we have the flat one. This should fit perfectly here. Alright, so now we have the roof, but now we delete the upper part, so we take our voxel tool, and let's delete the... oh, not this one. Let me see. Corner first. One gap, next one. One gap, next one. Yeah, this is what I wanted. Okay. So, one gap, next one gap, next one. Delete. 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 This was the wrong one. This one, and this one. Okay, if we continue this pattern, let's say on this side, okay, now we have a nice little garden roof. Which you could also decorate with some small lights, etc. Yeah, but you get it, what I want to show you with this pattern. So you can use roof tiles to make kind of fake roof garden tiles, which is also a nice option. Okay, let's get rid of these. And let's look at our next topic. I would like to have a little discussion about beginner block houses. Because I'm an old gamer. I've already over 30 gaming years under my belt, and I have experienced every game. And when I started building Minecraft with some friends on a private server, etc., I always hated it when they just place these block-like structures into the environment which doesn't fit from art style or visually appealing or something. I really hated it. And also I have seen the same thing over here. So people, I mean, I don't blame them. It's a game. You should have fun, and you're not a building master or architect, but a little beauty or appealing appearance would be nice. So let's take our beginner materials and let me show you what most of the players will do. Okay, here you have it. Your common basic starter house. It's just a cube. It's a block with 2 windows and a door. And you can do so much more with it, just with a tweak of 2 or 3 little things, so it looks much better. First of all, don't ever place your floor on top of the actual floor. It looks straight off, as you would have placed something on a Lego plate or something. Just don't. Sink your floor into the ground where it should be. So let me show you what I mean. Let's delete this stuff, at least so I can remove the floor. And second, use a different floor as for the walls. Always. It makes a big difference. So let's grab our other starter material, which is the rough stone, I think, which is available from the beginning. If I can find it. Rough stone block. Okay. And now don't use the global grid, but use freestyle and put it one down. So in the floor. Like here. Okay. Let's remove these parts again. So now it's even with the floor, with your grass floor. Now you can place your normal walls, like doors. Let's use the rough wood block again. And this in global mode. Okay. It's one off, isn't it? Yeah. somehow it's one off. Here we go. Okay, let's place down these walls. Oh, okay, I messed up this plate. This is why. This one is not far enough. Here we go. Okay, now I get it. Okay, this in here. This one. Let's place a window here. And maybe one more here. And define the wall over here. Okay. Now if you come into your house, you already have contrast or something which is looking different. Now for the front part, just take your tools, take your stone. Where is it again? Here. And place just one pillar of stone into the corner, or on top of the corner. Like here. Here. And on the other two sides. Here. And here. And already it's completely looking different. Has more sturdiness to it. You can also add now this door frame, like here. And maybe another pillar over here. Let's use the small ones to break up the front even further. And now let's place a little wooden ceiling over here. Like so. And out of a sudden you already have a nice touch to your house, which isn't the normal basic thing. Of course you can delete the overhanging stuff inside. Just use the voxel tool. So it's looking nice and smooth from the inside. And also what you could do, this is just a straight entrance. You can make it more interesting by placing down, let's take wood this time, another floor over here. Oh, it's one off, okay. One deeper. So, down here. And one more here. Okay, we need to use the Terran tool real quick to get rid of the excess dirt. Okay, now we have a wooden front, basically, and now you can add a little porch or something. Just use your single column style with, let's use wood in this case. One over here, and one here in the middle. Now let's grab... Oh, sorry, I need to place it one down, so 2 height. I already mentioned this. Now let's grab our things over here. Like so. Let's use a simple roof tile, not the 45-degree angle, but the other one. No, I want this. This one. Yeah, plant fiber I think is the first one we have available, so let's place these over here. Like so. And now let's finish this with a little touch over here. Inside this wood block. Okay. I need to grab some torches. So we can actually see. And I don't place the torches outside, but on the inside, over here. So we have kind of indirect lighting. So if you come from this side, it's really nice lit up, but it's not too much because it's just on one side. Now for the inside. Let's go here. 1, 2. It should be enough for such a small house. And yeah, for the final touch, let me place the actual roof on top so we can see how it looks later. First one. This is another hint I have for you. Always place your corners first. Always. So let's get back here, and this time we take the bigger plates on the roof so it fits in here and we don't have to use the small ones. Should be 4x4 because we already had also 4x4 on the floor. Alright, I think this should it be for the first non-cubic starter house with some details on it, and you can tweak it here and there and have a nice little house for your start, which looks correctly constructed, has some nice touches to it, and also doesn't look as ugly as before. So this is how you improve your starter house with just some little tweaks. And I think this will be a nice starting point for your journeys. Okay, starting houses. What else do we have on our list? So what do I mean by art style? We just said it here. I said we have the beginner materials like rough stone and rough wood, which is over here used. And it simply doesn't make sense if you go in here and then you just place some fancy, let's say, metal endgame blocks like iron or something. I mean, you can do it. It's up to you. It's a game, it's a sandbox, it's completely up to you. But if you look at it, or even the glowstone or whatever it is, but you have to look that it fits into the current environment. So it doesn't feel off in the current setting. See, those metal pillars simply don't fit in here. It's rough wood and it doesn't look appealing or as it would fit in here or belong in here. So, which would be more interesting? Let's say we have... Yeah, let's continue with the bronze. I will place down something over here. And now let's use our voxel tool. And now let's take out some of these side rims of the floor. And replace it with some golden texture. So in this case with bronze metal. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, let's place some light. So let's place a standing torch in the corner. You know what? I should have built it actually on the other side. So the sun could shine in here. Here we go. So if you have this little bronze rim around your highly polished stone, then this makes sense. This is a high quality material as well as a stone. So it fits together, and it also would be... You can find it in our real world, but you can't find it in a rough beginner village where there is no treasure available. So this is something which I would believe in the real world, if you look at it. And also fancy windows, etc. Or it doesn't need to be a window, but you also could, let's say, just carve in... Come on. If you build a church or something, you could also just carve in a cross. And it would look like something which should fit in here. Now let's decorate it with proper torches. And here you go. Something which looks like it would exist. Another thing are the sand blocks. We have a lot of stone blocks in game, and we have a lot of sand blocks, and if you build a house in a desert, it should consist of sand blocks, because this is the material which is available in the desert. It would be unreal to have a dark castle wall inside of the desert somewhere. It wouldn't fit or belong in there, so always make sure your material fits your environment and it's believable. So if we talk about art styles, it's about the believability of your materials in your environment and of the combination of your materials which you use. And of course we have like 20 materials you could use all in one room if you want, but it doesn't make the build better. It's more confusing, there's no pattern to it, and whoever will visit and view at it has to think about what did the creator think when he built it. So always think what is the general approach, what is the goal of your build, what will you achieve, what art style should it have, and what materials will you work with. My recommendation is really, if you build a big project, focus on like 3 or 4 main materials, and just in certain cases you go left and right and add more or less material depending on the situation you want to create, but don't use all available materials. It's not believable, and it doesn't make a great build either. So this thing being said about art styles, let's go into the castle and let's have a look at the actual decorations and I used and how I placed them. So let's head over here. My first choice of decoration were always light sources. As you can see in the trophy room, I always use the same pattern. I place the torch and I put a stone surrounding on it, so it looks like a torch which was carved in here. Here you can see some of the the stone railings, which are also glitching into each other, as you can see with textures here. They are placed on top of each other. But this looks believable. It fits in here, so I have a nice contrast to this thick railing. And the other decorations are really sparse, like just a dresser here, a little flower bed over here, Oh, I just noticed that my flowers are gone on this side. Strange. And some banners on the wall, and also rarely light sources or small light sources. I tend to add more smaller light sources than one big one. Also in here, very decent lighting on the top, but the ceiling is actually way too high for these light sources. But I didn't want to add another big one down here in the middle. It wouldn't fit properly. And also just a couple of benches on the sides. That's it for this room. It's a bit barebone, I know. It's the main hall, it should have more furniture in here, but we simply don't have the options yet. I think we will have more props and decorations in the future. Also on the outside, some banners, some torches, and that's it basically. But it loosens up the front and adds some nice details, and that's it. So let's go into the bathroom. Also here, very functional. And here I thought, what would happen if I would sit in here? So maybe I have a book to read, so I place the book here. Maybe I have a candle. There's some washing table, bookshelf, a place to sit or to put down clothes. The same in here. Everything you see is well thought through. And I thought, what would I do if I'm in this room? What would I need? Or what would I expect? And actually, the shower I placed just in here because we have a shower. But normally I wouldn't do that. Maybe it would be better to have a shelf or drawer in here. But, yeah. We don't have so many props. That's why you see them repeated all over the place. Also in these rooms, decoration are really sparse. Just light sources, 2 pictures on the wall, some books, and that's it. Everything else is just workstations and believable stuff. What I placed actually very often are these cups and bottles and plates all over the place, just to make it looking more like it's used and it's in construction, it's used for working, etc. I did the same in the library, where I placed some cups inside of the shelves, like here, some plates, or down here, on the table. Also here, different plates with different styles. I must say, this is already too much. I would believe this room myself, because this chair doesn't fit this table. This is a stone table and a wooden chair, but we have stone chairs. Also, these stone benches fit to the table, but I use it in the end because this wood of the chairs also matches with the bed. This is the only reason why I use these chairs, otherwise it would look misplaced. Also another thing, we have these nice golden, what is it called, candeliers. I placed 4, and I also placed these nice bronze candeliers over here. And it wouldn't make sense if you place these kind of candles or lights inside a little wooden shed. It simply doesn't fit. Oh, another thing. The secret door is sticking out at the bottom. So make sure whenever you leave your secret area, close the doors, because it looks ugly. So these are some decorations and tips for decorations. Then also don't place it all in one line. Make it like a stair and have different offsets. But overall, I'm more the type less is more, and just place functional things like lights and things I would use or believe myself. This is really weird. All my flowers are gone. which is another topic I want to cover. So let's head back down. So let's talk about flowers. Flowers can't be simply found. You have to create the saplings in your workstation in the garden. And then you have these different saplings, seedlings. So how do you do flower decorations? First of all, you need your farming soil. I mean, you can place them on normal grass or dirt, but it takes ages until they grow. So let's grab some of the soil we need. Not descent. Where's my dirt? Oh, I have it already. Okay. So let's say we have... Yeah, let's get this. Let's say we want some flowers decorations over here. So first thing you need to do is to break up your floor over here, so you have actually place inside. And this is a bad example because this is refined stone, which has this weird pattern with I can't place it down here. Need to pick up the door. Come on. Pick up. Okay. Now we can actually delete this one. Okay. Now we need the terrain tool, 1 voxel, and we use the fertilized farm soil because this is the fastest growing one. Place 1 line down here. And then you grab some kind of other material like wood or stone or whatever you prefer. I will take wood over here. The palm wood. And place 1 wood block around here. Oh, this was misplaced. Let's do it again. No. 1, 2. Here we go. And 1 from this side and this side. Okay, now you grab your flowers and you simply place it on top of the dirt. And this is really tricky. Sometimes it doesn't fit. I always try to alternate them. So blue, yellow, purple, etc. And if you have placed them, then you just need to wait until they grow, which should be really fast in the fertilized soil. So this is how you can use flowers for decoration, cover them up, and as you can see, I already used palm wood in the back, so it fits perfectly with the palm wood in the front. The next thing you could do inside your gardening area or something, you can use flower soil. So this is natural environment. Let me place 1 flower soil again. Okay, now let's spread it with the rake. Just a couple of meters. And now let's get this height here, this one, to our flower soil. Now you see it's working. The flower soil is now lowered. And in this case even deleted because it's too low. So let me try this again over here. And let's get this height. But you see, now it's working. So this is how you can spread soil types. But keep in mind, you can only spread it if it's higher than the surrounded environment. And then you can flatten it out from the lower environment. Now let's talk about the bushes. I don't have tree saplings on me right now, seedlings, but you have seen it in my garden in the beginning. The trees become really huge, massively huge. So they might hinder your view on something, so make sure where you place them. And now let's go for the smaller saplings. You see, you always have to go too wide. So one space between, and then you go in a straight line. And in just 1 or 2 in-game days, there should be a nice row of bushes. And then if you want to make like a continuous bush line, then you just grab your non-snapping seeds. Okay, this is how you place flowers, decorations, and trees and bushes. Yeah, I think we have covered up all topics for today. So, let me know in the comments what you think, what you might do different in your approaches, and what you might have learned today. And I'm always open for new suggestions, and I also want to learn myself every day, so please don't keep the tricks for yourself. Let us know. Oh, look at this. The first already grew. This is how fast it is. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. There will be more to come, definitely. Especially if you think about that Enshrouded, the current content is only 30% of the final game. And if I look at the map, which is massive by now, and if this is only 30%, then we can really expect some amazing more content in the future. So the props and building materials and environments and things we can do and build will actually be much more in the future. So I think I will cover all the new aspects and topics later in a 3rd or 4th part tutorial. And this is it for today. And I will continue on my other project, which I already began. And yeah, so I hope you liked this episode, and see you around. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.